Thank you, Mr. President. I appreciate that very much. And the question I'm going to ask Senator Boxer to respond to is the consequences if we invoke cloture in about 15 minutes from now when that vote comes before the floor. There are many of my colleagues that had amendments that they wanted to offer. They followed those amendments. But unless those amendments become pending, it's my understanding, and unless those amendments meet the very narrow germaneness rules, they may be relevant to the debate, but the germaneness rules are pretty tough, that unless we defeat cloture, we may not have an open amendment process. And I know that the majority leader talked about an open amendment process, but many of my colleagues, including this member who has additional amendments that I would like to have considered, will not be able to get those amendments considered, if I understand it, Senator Boxer, unless the cloture motion is defeated. So let me just talk for one moment about Amendment 75 that is pending, that I think is critically important that I have filed. What that amendment would do would allow our governors and our county officials to be able to get information from about the risks to their drinking water as a result of the potential spills would have on the aquifers. And this is not a hypothetical question, because the Ocala aquifer, which is the country's largest underground freshwater resource, is crossed by the proposed line of the Keystone. So therefore, it is a major concern to governors and local officials what a potential spill could have in regards to their drinking water supplies to their communities. At some places, the aquifer is within 5 feet of the surface. So a spill could have a dramatic impact on supply of safe drinking water. Now, as has already been pointed out by my colleagues from Michigan, in July of 2010, there was a pipeline rupture near Marshall, Michigan, that released 843,000 gallons of tar sand oil. That had a horrific impact on the environment and is still difficult to see the end in sight because of the cleanup difficulties in this thick tar sand oil. On March 29, 2013, there was a pipeline rupture in Mayflower, Arkansas, and that caused an incredible challenge to the cleanup. So my amendment's pretty simple. My amendment would allow that information to be made available to our governors and our local officials so that they could then notify the president that they have a concern on the route and allow that to be considered before the pipeline is constructed, giving our local governments the opportunity to be heard on this to have the information and then to be heard on this very important issue. So my question to the senator from California, Senator Boxer, if we're going to have an open amendment process, how can that be if the cloture motion that was filed by the majority leader were to become approved? Wouldn't that deny us that full open amendment process that we heard was going to be used in this Congress?